probably the best site on the internet. Actually, hold on, I gotta like link this on Twitch actually. Hold on. Oopsie. It's like nobody's seeing this right now. Desktop audio off, right? Yep. What do you mean there's a network error? What the hell is going on? Okay. Okay, there we go. Oops. There we go. Okay, so I found like probably the best site on the internet, and it's called the Beyond Universe wiki. And oh boy. Oh, it's just it's an experience. It's a universe fandom wiki. It's a fandom space of the universe. The goal is to create the ultimate SF wiki. And there's like official stuff. There's an official hierarchy. But when you go on random page, you get to get the most ridiculous, just off the walls stuff possible. I'm just gonna wait for some viewers to come in real quick. Because I was reading through this, and I've just found so much ridiculous stuff, and I'm realizing, oh my god, I need to, like, stream this, like, actually show people this. I'm just waiting for my friends right now. Well, it's only gonna be, like, me and my friends anyway, so... Yeah, I figured, yeah, you can hear me, right? I'm actually gonna, like, throw out display capture real quick. Alright. Okay, so... yeah, I explained this earlier. This is probably the weirdest site on the entire internet. Oh, and their Discord is just, like, absolutely abandoned, too, if you look over here. 2 members online. I think it was, like, 14 earlier. I think a ton of their bots just went offline. So, yeah, I'm gonna... hold on. I don't know if I'm should still be waiting for someone or not here, because I don't know if he's, like, coming or not. Yeah, I'm just gonna start, like, if he shows up, so... yeah, so, yeah, let's go to a random page and see what we get here. I'm praying to God I don't get anything inappropriate on here, but I don't think we do. Oh, what the hell? The anti-box. The anti-box is the anti-parallel to the box. Oh boy, this is a whole thing, and they have like no info on it, of course. Antiverse. Let's see what the hell that is. Okay, that's actually kind of decently written, so let's go to another one. The Transcendentum Compendium is an infinitely long stream of Transcendium bubbles. There's not much to say about the Transcendentum Continuum, since the Guardian of the Fifth Wall is the only end to even able to peek into the stream. There's a Guardian for every Transcendium bubble in the Continuum. And of course, there's like no info on it. They never elaborate. Oh, that's just some really big numbers. The I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. The is a huge verse that it's a fake universe, but even has more smaller universe inside and orbiting it. Dimensionally 3D, a lot of light years. 13 of the cards is steel. I still can't pronounce that. His anti-intim verses only existed will only exist. I feel like some of this stuff is just pulled out of a hat. Okay, that's an actual page there. Spaceception. Spaceception is the ultimate example of the Berry paradox. It not only contains itself but anything bigger than it, but it also destroys anything bigger. I mean, this will always be the biggest thing, unless no elaboration. The unlimited blankness. Yep, you guessed it, this is the bigger almost in Spaceception because, well, no one knows. The infinite blanks is your typical end all. Not really much to be said. Why is it white? The reason it's white and not black is because technically all colors except black make black. And if you add black to itself repeatedly, you get darker and darker. The reason this verse is white is because it went below the negative integer limit for brightness and moved back to the top. That's not how it works. How is it completely empty with multi-realms in it? You see that since this verse is beyond the infinite integer limit, times bigger than the multi-realm, the collection of realms rank the size of small here in this verse that's smaller than infinitesimal point. This is the biggest thing ever, unless contained by the water bottle. Big boy is definitely bigger than the unlimited blankness. A small portion of the water bottle that is there contains all spaces. Yes, including the unlimited blankness. The water portion of the water bottle is made to represent the biggest verses with actual stuff. The cap of the water bottle represents a cage that keeps all reality inside. Otherwise, reality will fall out, causing possibly the biggest extinction. And this is the thirsty one, drinking an entire water gallon instead like usual, which destroyed tons of verses just by him drinking. This cap is also a futile event. That's improper. To stop the thirsty one from drinking water out of the water bottle. Oh, the water bottle just full of water. Scale. Size. Water. Contained up by the oceanic glass container. Oceanic glass container. The oceanic glass container contains all water ever and is made up of water bottles. This area located several omega fish, omega sharks, and the strongest, biggest creature known in there. The mega whale. It has a massive tear in it called the Terran reality. Any liquid inside this container is not water and is some other type of substance completely. Now you may be asking how it doesn't have water in it if it's a liquid. What? If it doesn't have water, what? But that will be answered once we get there. I want to see what the Terran reality is first. Okay, yeah, that's actually like okay, hold on. The Terran reality is a map of Terran, well, reality, and it is a possible threat for everything in reality. When it opens up, green infinite lava starts pouring into our reality, causing everything, including subatomic particles in its way, to be turned into nothing. If it opens up far enough, then our local reality is screwed. It was created some time ago, probably not a long time ago. Notice by the entity known as infinite emptiness, who told her a hole in reality itself, because the entity was born. The entity replaced a small part of the enclosure of a reality with pitch black and absolute nothingness, causing the infinite lava outside of it to start leaking in as a melting substance. The thing surrounding our reality got removed. The only known thing that can remove it is the infinite emptiness. How it can be stopped? Theoretically, if an omega squid uses its tentacles to temporarily seal up the infinite lava, since the tentacles absorb everything and send it out in the anti-reality, the infinite lava can temporarily be halted in its place, at least with an omega squid dies. However, it will eventually kill us all, as the Terra is constantly growing bigger when it hits an infinite emptiness. Let's see what that is. Infinite emptiness is the only entity that has escaped the core of the infinite world. It controls all nothingness that ever non-existed and contains the void. All things in the void, like absolute nothingness, nothing, pitch black, pitch white, the void, the anti-void, etc. The only objects currently known to not be contained by infinite emptiness are the impossible thing, the internal chaos, and the non-thing. The infinite emptiness is the absolute control of everything in the infinite chain and can replace all models with pure nothingness extremely easily whenever he wants to think. God. The infinite emptiness is so powerful that even human verses or creatures inside the oceanic glass container completely have no idea what its capabilities are and feared. Here's some things he's destroyed. Verse is destroyed. The universe gets completely destroyed to nothingness when the infinite emptiness thinks about it. The omniverse is completely turned to nothing. Nothing gets turned into even more nothing. Entity's killed. The absolute creator starts begging for mercy. Satan and God phrase the infinite emptiness. Universe Poker 777 starts phrasing this page in hopes for his safety. Oh my fucking god, what's going on? And then the comments are just first, second, like, this is more complex. One I said fucking map itself, and that's saying something. Yeah, it is. Contain like absolute infinity. Absolute infinity is a huge reality claim versus of all sizes, including the infinite emptiness. In fact, almost all the voids in absolute infinity are the infinite emptiness. Oh my god, the structure of absolute infinity is mostly unknown, and it's still unknown if it has any organized structure at all. All that is certain is this verse is big. It's way bigger than you think. It is incredibly bigger than the infinite emptiness, it always will be. Size changing property. And this verse, just like many previous verses, is constantly increasing in size. As not to have something grow bigger than it, just like the inverse. This ability has limitations though. If you somehow puncture a hole in the side of the absolute infinity, the verse will begin to slow its growing speed. And if you keep this hole open for long periods of time, the absolute infinity will slowly escape. And after infinite years, it will turn an infinite dot. Another way to slow/stop the growing ability is to create something of ridiculous mass and gravity, and place it towards the edge of absolute infinity. The edge of the verse has shown that they're very susceptible to manipulation by gravity. And if you have a strong enough gravitational pull, you might be able to warp the entire absolute infinity, plus slowing down the growing speed. And it's contained by the epic. What the hell is that? Oh no. Oh no. The epic is just a Peter Griffin-shaped verse that contains a Peter Griffin-shaped verse. This verse is epic everywhere except inside of it, and every single point of pure epic has only the prefix epic, and only epicness in general. And this time, however, the farther you are to the core, the more epic things get. Where at the very edge, every single word and every single thing you hear and see, etc., is just epic. At the center, everything is sight, and you get an uncap. And if you ever use the word epic there, somehow you simultaneously combust. Dimensionality, epic. Size, epic. Cursive scale, epic. Age, epic. Life, never age, never epic. Life, ever, never epic. Contained by pure epic. Oh my god. Pure epic is just a Peter Griffin shaped verse that contains a Peter Griffin shaped verse. This verse is epic everywhere inside of it, and every single point of the pure epic has only the prefix epic and only epicness in general. This time, however, the closer you are to the core, the more epic things get. Where at the very core, it's just a single word in it, and you hear and see it was just epic. Oh my god. Contained by the eternal land. The eternal land is infinite in every way, but also unlike Infinite World, it's also infinite in the fourth dimension time. Also, its size is so large that no possible 3D explanation can even make sense for it anymore. Then the size is now measured in time. In fact, it's so large that everything that could usually be used to measure an infinite, or some larger infinites than that above this dimension, is now measured in time. A small portion of the eternal land. Yeah, contained by the land of dreams. Land of dreams. This is pretty much like the eternal land, but this time it's so big that it's not measured in 3 or 4 dimensions, but 5 dimensions. The 5th dimension is considered to be the dream world, and this world represents the entirety of all dreams ever. But it also considers the fact that we're all dreaming in a matrix-like thing, but that isn't even proven. Unlike what contains this, the infinite parallel lands, this is bigger than anything due to dreams involving imagination, and imagination can make anything bigger than the previous verse. Oh my god, how far does this go? Contained by the infinite parallel lands. Oh good lord. The infinite parallel lands are measured in the highest scientifically proven dimension, the 11th dimension. This land represents all possible types of land at any point in time, and is measured in 10-dimensional units. Well, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that. Not much else to say, except all lands containing this probably aren't real. So there are no more possible lands after this. But except it's contained by the grid. Oh my god. Oh my god, how far does this go? The grid is what would be a 12-dimensional land. But since there's nothing scientifically proven to be after 11 dimensions, it's just labeled as an infinite container of the 11th dimension, or 11 plus 1. The grid contains infinite point, each of them being a different type of infinite parallel lands. And the lines in between the points represent the infinitely parallel line. The grid also contains itself over and over, as you can keep scaling bigger and bigger on it. The blank spaces. Even the blank spaces in the grid represents the highest possible void in any plane of reality, ever. It represents the Berry paradox for a void, as well as every other part of reality. Each pixel in the grid can be infinitely different in size because of the Berry paradox, constantly changing the size and scale of the grid. The grid is the most stable verse that's currently known of. It literally doesn't move. And it doesn't even shoot out a protoverse every omega age, or anything at all. In fact, it doesn't even shoot out nothing. As if it were to shoot out nothing, then it would have a tiny amount of instability. Now, you might be wondering what holds the grid together, and the answer is gridium. Gridium is the most chemically stable element to ever exist. It has a glue-like texture, but instead of being wet, it's solid. Gridium is also so small that it can't be broken by even the strongest entities, like entities that are above Earth when using non-secular deconstruction or something, I don't know. Contained by the cubic graph. Oh no. Oh god. The cubic graph is a higher dimensional version of the grid, and it contains itself in the same way the grid does. In all other examples of the Berry paradox, the z-axis line is what holds the y-axis and z-axis lines together. This is going to fucking create something, isn't it? This is going to turn into fucking Homer Simpson or some shit. Blank spaces. Unlike the grid, the blank spaces here actually mean something completely different. The blank spaces don't repeat third versions of no 3D versions of the grid's nothingness, but it actually represents TV static, except for one of the planes. Oh my god. Except for one plane of the blank space. It is the place where TV static combines into the ultimate blank spaces that are bigger and bigger. The largest layer of blank space is called the ultimate television, contained by the axis. Oh my god. The axis is a containment of all finite dimensional graphs, like the cubic graph, the tesseract graph, the grid, etc. All of the blank spaces are just higher dimensional versions of the blank spaces from the previous graphs. However, there are unique things about each layer. Layer 4, aka the tesseract graph, is a continually moving version of the cubic graph. Its constant movement results in its element being rather strange. This whole fucking wiki's rather strange, actually. Fuck. I need to get a drink of water. I'm gonna, fucking die. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. How many drugs do you think the people that created this were on? Anyways, the testosterone. Oh my god, these are so hard to pronounce. It's pretty much exactly like cubium, but it consistently moves and creates the motion of tesseract graph in the first place. Layer 11. How far oh my fucking god. Oh my god. Okay, the undecial graph is a theoretical limit of graphs, as it's the 11 plus 11th dimension, which is the absolute maximum. It would theoretically be the max. We all know it's not the fucking maximum, right? It would. Oh. As it contains all differing versions of graphs possible. Some, however, there are layers beyond this, because of course there are. Undecium. Undecium is the element that makes up all the major graphs of reality, and each atom is this element made up of one parallel graph. Layer 12 is the strangest graph, but it doesn't. Hold on. I'm having a stroke trying to read this stuff. Layer 12 is the strangest graph. It doesn't have a graph name because it goes beyond the 11 layer confines of dimensions. 11 plus 11 dimensions. But it can be described basically. Basically, layer 12 is a collection of all other infinite parallel timelines. It's currently unknown how this is possible, but there are several theories on it. Layer 152. Layer 152 is the limit of the abovers and the cameraman. So at this point and beyond, there are 0 pictures for anything above this. The infinite D graph of reality. I've been lied to. There is a picture. Clearly the drugs they took away were contained by even more drugs. And clearly the drugs they took were contained by even more drugs. And clearly the drugs were taken by even more drugs. Yeah, this is nuts. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, we're getting... Oh, boy. The infinity dimensional graph of reality. The infinite dimensional graph of reality is the last powerful graph ever. It's last graph because the originals somehow don't apply to dimensions, meaning that infinity will always be biggest, even if you add something bigger. For example, if you were to make an omega dimensional graph of reality, this would immediately overtake it, despite the omega dimensional graph of reality being self-containing as well. Technically, this makes the infinite dimensional graph reality the only verse to follow the Berry paradox, more than other verses that follow it, as it contains on two levels. This graph is made out of Oh my god, this is nuts. Oh god. Infinitum is responsible for making this graph bigger than all the other graphs. That is, yeah. The blank spaces here are the biggest blank space possible. They are not, yeah. Omnispec is nothingness. Position the higher lands. Oh god. Oh god. Yeah, absolutely warning. This is the biggest thing that still does things according to Omni laws. Anything bigger will be out of the bounds of Omni laws and will be immediately disintegrated. The verse reach limits of Omni laws by constantly expanding outwards into larger and larger verses. And also, it's pretty much just the endless 3D version of the infinity dimensional graph reality. This verse is on top of a triple layer third dimensional measurement, and any higher layered dimensional measurements aren't possible. Do it again. Omni laws. The only thing controlling this verse is the law manipulator, and the home he lives in, the house of law bending. Contained by the mega box, usually. Sometimes the law manipulator, the house of law bending. Let's see what the mega box is. Oh, it's in our fucking box again. The mega box isn't even a... Hold on. How many times have they had something that had... Oh my god. I'm losing my ability to read because of this wiki. How many times have they had something that was the max and only have something bigger? I think like 12 separate times now. The mega box. The mega box is even larger than the box. Well, no, look at it. It contains an infinite amount of boxes floating around in the resonance. Although it has an infinite number of boxes, it sounds like it means 1,000,000 boxes. Contained by the Ultra Box. Oh my god. The Ultra Box is even bigger than the Mega Box. Well, just look at it. It contains an infinite amount of Mega Boxes floating around. It's so small compared to the containing entity existence having less than 100 Mandelbrot verses. Oh my god. Existence. Existence contains everything that is possible in the box. Everything is existence. Nothing is existence. Existence, yeah. Oh, I think we somehow got smaller when we got bigger. Contained by endless. Oh, we're back to infinity again? Endless is anything or not anything. It contains or doesn't contain anything that is out of existence, or doesn't contain anything that is out of existence, like gods or non-gods in the infinity verse. Work in progress contained by the void. Oh, this article's a stub. Every article is a stub on this freaking site. This void is a completely empty object aside from the endless in the middle. People disappear. People often disappear from the void and get teleported to the Windows Miiverse, where they will die of glitchiness for obvious reasons. So I think we've gotten to I think we've gotten to the actual thing again. Contained by the super void, which is contained by the kilovoid. The kilovoid is when you die and your body parts turn into a void and creating the kilovoid. We actually reached the end of one of these chains. Holy shit. Okay, let's see what the anti-melting substance is. Anti-melting substance. Anti-melting substance is a substance that cannot melt. In fact, this is the only thing that can survive higher temperatures than the rock beast can on every level. In fact, this can't be melted by what's it's contained, kind of. Attempts to destroy move. There have been several attempts to melt/burn the substance. Here are some of the best tries. On attempt 1 ever, the anti-melting substance was surrounded by infinite lava, which is so hot that it can melt even the rock beast and anything that could feel cold in the quantumverse. However, eventually, when infinite lava took form around the substance after Omni anti-melted, didn't even suffer a burn mark or a scratch. Attempt 82. On attempt 82, a creature known as the mega whale almost got out, but the anti-melting substance stopped them. In response, they shot out a super-powered whale call that would shatter the glass from the oceanic container, and it would melt in any other substance, even infinite lava. However, nothing happened. Attempt Absolute Omni. On attempt Absolute Omni, a creature known as the Omega Squid tried to pull this substance with their extremely large tentacles, which could grip onto anything else. However, the substance ended up burning their hand, as it hasn't been cooled down since the last attempt. This attempt happened only 2 days ago, actually. Successful attempt redacted. On this attempt, Oofium was put on the anti-melting substance, and the anti-melting substance was melted and destroyed. From the ability of its destruction, but during this process, which was 1 millisecond, the lava got on the Oofium and turned into Oofium Neo, as it was transformed when the lava reached the Oofium. Oh my god, what? What's infinite lava? Yeah. Oh my god. Infinite lava has described the infinite, and the infinite is actually its own term. It means it goes up and down in the integer system. Absolute omni times, meaning it's the first number that's bigger than absolute omni. Anyways, infinite lava is really, really hot, as in it can melt every single known thing that isn't the anti-melting substance. In fact, it can even melt the rock beast, an entity that can survive absolute omni, a layer of the quantumverse. Infinite volcano, infinite island, infinite air, infinite world, the infinite emptiness. Okay, we're back to this. Let's see what the hell Oofium Neo is. Yeah, it's a Roblox thing. Oofium Neo is the most powerful element in all of ever. It can destroy any level of power entity and make them say oof while they vaporize. Not only by through about it. It's a good weapon because it can oof whoever you want if made by you. Here's our list of entities it has oof. God and everyone monster. Twilight London, only for a second though. Void Sands, XD, and everyone who was banned on this wiki. People can get banned on this wiki? There's stuff on this wiki they don't accept? In fact, this element is also a theoretical idea to destroy the anti-melting substance, as it can destroy the few instances of conscious atoms inside it. If it destroys the right one, it will explode and break the oceanic glass container, meaning every entity will be free to roam the infinite island. The only entity it hasn't destroyed as a weapon or something is the Oof King, and that's because the Oof King specifically designed the element not to be able to hurt them. Oh my god. This is just... Oh boy, this is something else. Let's see what Rock Beast is. Oh, I didn't Oh, it looks like... The Rock Beast is a very powerful being. Possibly even more than the Hate Beast. It can survive the Quantumverse due to being made out of the Beyond rocks. Since it is a sentient, however, it cannot actually use said power. So it's a pet rock. However, the Heat Beast sometimes makes a clone of themselves to play catch using the Rock Beast as a ball. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. The power it has is extremely immense. This going off claims from the Heat Beast, who said that one time he made the Rock Beast sentient, the Rock Beast almost killed him before it was turned back into rock. The reason such power is unlikely, omni-friction. The Rock Beast was absorbing the heat, becoming hotter than the Quantumverse itself. In fact, it's stated by the Heat Beast that the Rock Beast can survive in higher Quantumverse layers than even him. For example, the Heat Beast threw the Rock Beast outside of his lair, all the way into the absolute omnif layer, and the Rock Beast had no scratches or damage at all when he teleported back. I absolutely love this guy. The Rock Beast's only known picture is taken by the Heat Beast. Oh, he's lovely. Rules over the Quantiverse, kinda, since this is the only other thing that can survive in it. Age, absolute eternity. Knowledge has around -1 human IQ. Power, omni-infinite. Goal, exit the Quantiverse. Gender, rock. Heat Beast. Let's see what the Heat Beast is. Yeah. The Heat Beast kind of rules over the Quantiverse, as they're the only entity that can survive in that heat. In that type of heat. Adaptation to the heat. The Heat Beast is first started off as a normal bear cloner, which produced infinite copies of himself every plank instant. Eventually, they evolved Omnifur, which is specifically designed to withstand any environment within the Quantiverse. It also had to gain intelligence to do things above average human could. So that way, it could invent something to do for fun, as this is the only example of the Heat Beast currently known. The Heat Beast is arguably the most powerful being, as it is the biggest entity, doubted, the only entity that can survive the second layer of the Quantiverse, and 3, it's the entity that controls the most stuff, doubted. The Heat Beast. The Heat Beast's only known picture is taken by me when I entered the first layer of the Quantiverse. I can't enter the second layer because it's too hot. Yeah. Age, absolute eternity, has around 150 human IQ. Power, omni-infinite. Goal, exit the Quantiverse. Gender, male. Let's see what the Quantiverse is. At first, the Quantiverse might seem like another crappy self-containing page. However, this is only partially the case. The Quantiverse cannot only contain infinite amounts of itself and anything bigger than it. It also breaks laws of everything. By containing other self-containing objects such as the box, the pitch black, space-time web, a blue void, etc. The Quantiverse is the absolute biggest possible thing in the entire Quantiverse. Doubt it. Anything bigger will not only be immediately contained by it, but destroyed as well. Doubt it. It will also contain any object that claims to bypass this rule, and that rule, etc. If it passes every of the infinite rules, then it will be still be contained. Oh my god. Inside the Quantiverse is every single possible thing imaginable, unimaginable, etc. The temperature of this verse is very high, the lowest temperature being somewhere in the low omni-infinites. However, life does exist here in many forms. For example, the Heat Beast is an entity that lives there. It can survive because it was specifically made to survive the omni-infinity level temperatures and beyond a bit as well. The Omniverse actually has a weird property that even though it contains itself, it's actually another bigger verse itself. The Beyond, or itself. The Beyond, aka the Rule Breaker, is an entity that lives in the third lowest layer of the Quantiverse, but it can control the omni-infinite layers of it. Beyond the entity is specifically designed to break every single possible river, whether that being bigger than the Quantiverse, or being smaller than the Protoverse, or both at once. The Beyond can control at least the 7 lowest layers of the Quantiverse. The hands of itself holding up the... Oh boy, yeah, that's a big number. Oh boy. Everyone's just trying to top... Yeah, everyone's just trying to top each other in this wiki. Creations. Beyond has made some pretty cool things. Omni-infinite amounts of them to be exact. However, I'll only list about 4 of their biggest and well-known creations. Beyondium is an... Oh my god, Oh god. Beyondium is an element on infinity in the periodic table of elements. It is omni-durable, meaning that any blow, even from the Beyond, can break any rule ever. Its melting point is absolute omni degrees Celsius. It needs this melting point to describe the extreme heat of the Quantiverse. Yeah, this is just... Yeah... The picture of the Beyond was taken by the Beyond himself. He simply grew a third hand and created a Beyond camera to take a picture of himself. It was also incredibly filtered, as looking at the Beyond's true form would make an average person completely mad. And it's contained by the source. she sleeps here, somewhere deep in their own. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like another bizarre thing. Contained by the Foundation. Contained by the Impossible Hierarchy. The Impossible Hierarchy is the name used to describe a hierarchy where it's completely impossible for anything to be beyond the first level of that hierarchy. The second level is bigger, and it's impossible for anything to be possibly beyond it. The cycle continues forever. Nothing can be bigger than this. Nothing. You can't be bigger than my thing. The polycosmologies are contained in the algebra, which are part of the barrel is the structure of the tower suite of impossible cosmology connecting one part to the other. Contained by the snow globe. The snow globe is really nothing within the snow globe can exit outside it. If it is not transcended or created by the transcendite, anything. Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna. The global. This article is a stub. Yeah. The global contains infinite numbers of snow globes. It's one of the largest verses known. It has 3 sections: the hot section, the cold section, and the mid-temperature section. I feel like you just take random images they find off Google and like add a bunch of bullshit to them sometimes. The images orange side shows a hot section. The hot section is pretend there's a number here that not even all-knowing people can think of because that's not a concept. Celsius at the edge of the global. Fades are 60 Celsius. Yeah, it's just the bee. There's a large bee ruling over the global. Not much is known about this transcendent bee other than it's absurdly powerful and creating snow globes by pollinating other snow globes. How this is actually possible is unknown. Contained by the creepyverse. Oh no. The creepyverse is a large verse. It's known to be very dangerous due to many rogue objects that fly around. It's also very hard to destroy that the strength of beds down a large civilization living in a big iron box floating around in space protected by big order that protects it from the flying objects. And the game verse. The game verse is a recently made protoverse that just began expanding when not fully formed yet. Okay, this one actually kind of takes itself seriously. It's contained by The Is. The Is is a larger reality that was known for some time. Note that It Is contained by is a different page, and this is by a different person, namely who they can often be contained by the other Ises. Oh god. The Is a persuasive pollination pack of says The Is. No, wait. Dimensionality, no. Science, no. Curse tale, no. Oh god. Not going down that one. The is do not enter the outside the exist. Yeah. Oh, I'm not even gonna bother reading all that. Pitch black. Contained by the universe verse. Oh god. The universe verse is the absolute reason that everything exists. If the universe verse didn't exist, neither would Doge, Pitch Black, God, Satan, Selene, be an abongous universe in the quantum verse. Nothing would. Yeah. Oh god. Contained by the loophole verse, the bra, and the higher lands. Oh my god. Oh god. The loophole versus species of skilled error verses that eventually evolved and figured out how to ways to escape almost every end all be all. They are the only known species out here. Some go around eating all the loops within the loophole verse, setting verses free into the loophole verse. The verses that claim to be end be alls only have some slight loophole that allows something to contain it. Oh my god, this is getting self-aware. For example, the universe verse contains a wiki verse, voids, etc. To get around this, the property that makes an object a verse, a void, etc. Inside the loop systems, in the loophole verse, which is the space around the loops, making the loophole verse not a verse. Oh god. Not a verse, void, whatever, despite the name. The loophole verse is contained in a wiki, but only as a page. The wiki can't physically contain the loophole verse. This is also an important part of the explanation of the loophole verse. The world out here is so glitchy that you will evaporate within one plank time. In order to not glitch out here, if you are an entity, you need to take an error pill to get immunity to the error verses. The loop containing the loophole verse got flipped inside out by the error verses, causing this verse to be contained by a strange reverse universe. Contained by universe in reverse. Oh. Yeah, it's just an inverted universe. No, the outside the sphere is not that, it's the red dot. Absolute Omni, but bigger. Contained by multiverse in reverse. Yeah. The blue is an absolute hypothetical object with no proof of existence. But it's also one of the only plausible ideas for what contains the. So if now, this is what we think contains it. How? Well, not having any known properties. There have been some that would explain how got inverted by the error verses. So easily for one, I'm not even gonna bother reading all that. The inverse. The inverse is an entity that grows to the size of whatever the biggest verse is, thus meaning that it'll only be the biggest entity. And as of now, it's currently unknown what limits the inverse has, but it's shown few amounts of weakness. Weakness 1. It showed that when the universe was the biggest thing, enough to bigger, this alien decided to try and shoot this being outside the universe with a black hole powered rays, smaller than even gamma rays. The universe got a tiny little cut in his leg. When the Omniverse was the biggest thing, some of the weakest Omnigods decided to try and kill his enemy, for reasons currently unknown, with an omniversal death ray, crafted from the ancient quantum particles, formed in the beginning of time and not yet decayed, meaning that they have the toughest durability and slowest erosion rate. Once the ray hit the universe, the bullet was significantly smaller, but still cut a tiny hole in one of their skins. God. Oh. When the quantiverse is the biggest thing, the heat beast threw some rock beasts at it. This resulted in second-degree burns for the inverse, and had to sleep 2 ways to cool himself off. Hello, I'm reading the Beyond Universe wiki, and oh god, it's so weird. Oh god. The last reported weakness of that day is when the universe verse was the biggest thing. An omega black hole decided to try and destroy this enemy, as it was more powerful, and they didn't want that. They ended up tearing a massive chunk off his arm, causing him to have to sleep for 192 OA to cool himself off. Contained by, it's currently unknown what it contained by, just kidding, it's contained by the outverse. The outverse. This verse contains the inverse. It is pretty much just another typical verse that contains all the things smaller in it. You may be wondering how the inverse doesn't contain this. Basically, the outverse is a verse that isn't known to any entity. Any object bigger than this, thus hidden since this universe is known to the inverse, making it believe it's the biggest. If you tell the inverse that this verse's existence, you will be sent to the Shadow Realm. Contained by the Shadow Realm. The Shadow Realm is the place you go when you die. No matter if you're in heaven or hell or window, this place contains all of them. You just can't see it since it's invincible. The Shadow Realm... Invisible. The Shadow Realm realms mainly comprised of absolute opposites, like heaven and hell, black holes, white holes, pitch black, pitch white. Yeah. Ooh. How some people think that the Shadow Realm absorbs all light because it has a giant shadow hole inside of it, which absorbs all light near it, causing it not to be seen anymore. And hence the Light Realm or someplace similar. The Light Realm is where you absolutely live. It's pretty much the opposite of the Shadow Realm in absolutely every way. For example, this realm is bright light, the Shadow Realm is dark, etc. This verse is so bright that it can actually tear a bit of light for the Shadow Realm. However, these realms are usually completely separate. In fact, it's so bright that it can even make any amount of darkness light, even nothing. Contained by the gray area. The gray area is a perfect mix of light and dark and represents what two opposites do to each other. For example, no amount of brightness or darkness can change the situation of this area, and so the same amount of the exact opposite is also applied. Basically, the gray area contains limbo, purgatory, or any multi-state object. The multi-realm. Oh, God. The multi-realm is a collection of all realms ever. It represents absolutely everything. 0 can be represented by the gray area. Negative numbers can be represented by the shadow realm. Positive numbers can be represented as the light realm. This applies to everything, actually, as everything has an opposite as well as something in between. Interrealm spaces. Interrealm spaces are spaces between multi-realms. These spaces are even darker than nothing or the shadow realm and are very, very big. They make it so that the multi-realm doesn't collide with any other similar multi-realms. When nothing is entered, the thing that entered will be thrust into completely white space-time rift for this time they'll not have any food, water, or air. Space contained by spaces of spaces. This is pretty much a container of interrealm spaces. Not really much else to say, except this verse does follow the Berry Paradox. Also, I like how this gets mentioned so much, but they still don't have a page for it. Also, the number of spaces it contains is approximately equal to elf null. It's completely black due to the fact that multi-realms inside of it are such a tiny fraction that they don't even appear visible. So the spaces are completely empty. Contained by spaceception. All known spaces. The spaceception is the ultimate example of the Berry Paradox. This not only contains itself, but anything bigger than it. It also destroys anything bigger than it, meaning this will only be the biggest thing. Unless the unlimited blankness. Yep, you guessed it. This is bigger almost than the spaceception because, well, nobody knows. And we're back to the water bottle. Let's go to a random page. Cosmic Zeppelin. Work in progress page. The Cosmic... Oh, I don't have... Do I have Dark Reader on? No, that's just, like, really shittily made. Yeah, that was some big numbers. Final verse. The final verse is a giant verse that contains all verses in this 9,000 dimensional, in a giant sphere similar to the universe, but with many other things that are impossible to reach or observe contained in the exterior. As we know, the exterior has an infinite size. The final verse in a big number greater than the omniverse and 67% are formed by the verses, in what the other percent is formed by infinite energy, or totally particles of the final verse was formed as well. Oh my god. I'm not even gonna bother to read the rest of that. Contained by the outside. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. The outside is infinite nothingness. Outside it's 4 omniverses. This is also known as the Lake Jorno area. Everything you think is inside the outside. Oh no. The Lake Jorno area is the area where there's no verse. How to show it? Verse. Lake Jorno area. Contains nothing. Contained by verse. Oh god. Oh my god, what the hell? Mainly as the verse, which we are currently in, and other than that it contains everything. There's the fake verse that has begin verse earlier. Okay, yeah, I don't want to read all that. Contained by heaven. That's like an actual place there. Let's see what nothing is. And okay, so nothing somehow contains this area, but then this contains nothing. What the hell? Oh boy. The scale past the universe size comparison. This is the scale of the universe in size to size scale version from left to right, top to bottom. Vecoverse, 40 billion light years. Observable universe, 93 billion light years. Universe, 600 billion light years. 1 trillion light years. Oh god. Oh my god. Okay, so 1 vendillion blank waves, Zonoverse, 2 trillion light years, Primeverse, and imaginary decillion, 24 trillion light years. Here it is, folks. My god. Can't even fit on the page. Part 2. 1 pixel equals 1 trillion light years. Imaginary yeah. 1 quadrillion light years. Part 3. 1 pixel equals 1 trillion light years. 1 quadrillion light years. Octaverse. Part 4. The entire Octaverse. You can't even see it. The Zeptaverse is like 15 sextillion light years compared to that tiny pixel. I don't even think there's anything there. There's not. And they just like didn't finish this. Mother of God. The pumpkin verse. Oh god. Speed. This is just a list page. It's not organized in any fashion. Yeah, it's just different speeds, I guess. And it's another very short page. Oh, I need to show you like the main page here. They have the complete hierarchy, which is like all their official art objects. So let me read it off. Tier 0, heck level, weird names, building block, planetary, stellar. Tier 1, galactic, universal, multiverse, or arc verses. Tier 2, beyond arc verses, recursive structures, voids, transvoids, yin-yang. Tier 3, normal names, deprecated storage quotas, Australia. Tier 4, greatness, even weirder names, verses, number voids. Tier 5, yang-yang. Does Australia have a page? Australia just has, like, what the hell? There's like a whole thing for Australia here. Ambulance service, fire and rescue, rural fire service, state and emergency service, Australian Federal Police, toll air ambulance, paramedics, Royal Australian Navy, Australian Army, Royal Australian Air Force, Police Rescue, and NSW Police Force Academy. Oh my god. How about a map? Film Lost Needs Rex that one map is a large. Oh my god, it's another universe. Contained by It's the Spiral Arm again. Oh god. But the Earth refused to die. But the Earth refused to die is a huge verse, but anyone without a But the Earth refused to die lessons tries to enter this verse, they will die on the You Dying train. Almost no one has that license, even though most of the open enemies, because the only way they get them is to buy them from a random person on the planet in this verse. The planet. The only thing is inside this verse, aside from the limit time open invite, is a planet. This planet is a terrestrial planet. The whole planet has no life except for some Amobia and the person named earlier. Oh my god. Are you respecting a galaxy? Well, no. Here's your galaxy. Now leave. Evolution verse. Oh my god. And they have like really small things too. Let's try and go as small as possible. So do not try to create anything smaller. Protoverse. Protoverse is a null prototype. Contains the research station. That is not there. The smallest thing is apparently just question mark. None of that is done yet. Oh my god. Let's go to a few more random pages and I think I'm gonna be done. Oh, that's a really big number. It's like a star or something. It's on a really small page. Lost planets found in the multiverse and not in universes. They're type A or lost planet but one. Type B, one lost planet. A planet in a lost star system. Below are listed some lost planets at type A. A gas giant orbs far from its star. The supergiant flings off planets or anything smaller coming to hit it with no storms. Yeah. A hell gas giant, not even hell. Like, it straight up would be hell if it was a gas giant. Not much to say here besides that. A boring ice giant. What is cool out of, like, yeah. God, this is off the rails. The red void is the red version of the void. Yep. It's just red. The dead verse is a universe, so if you go to this universe, you die. Dimensional, 13-dimensional. Age, it is dead. Life, it died. Oh my god, why is there a gnome in here? It's just like 3 different pages. The food verse. The food verse contains the food verses. What the hell is going on? The blue void is a blue version of void. It contains the omni void. Yeah, it's just blue. Oh, it's an actual thing on here. Neat. List of universes in ascending size. Universe, larger universe, multi-larger universe, mega-larger universe, giga-larger universe, tera-larger universe, peta-larger universe, extra-larger universe, zeta-larger universe, yada-larger universe, zeta-larger universe, deca-larger universe, henda-larger universe, arc-larger universe, void-larger universe, Mina-larger universe, Shino-larger universe, Into-larger universe, Astro-larger universe, Panel-larger universe, Brill-larger universe, Lino-larger universe, Gas-larger universe, Coda-larger universe, Rex-larger universe, Renio-larger universe, Omni-larger universe, Out-larger universe, Box-larger universe, Existence of larger universe, N-larger universe, Void-larger universe 2, they made a sequel, Super-larger universe, Hyper-larger universe, Mega-larger universe, Ultra-larger universe, In-larger universe, Greater-larger universe, Out-larger universe, Noah's is a larger universe, Corridor of all large. Oh my god. Oh my god. Let's see what larger universes. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the universe was as big as the large. If our universe was just an atom, the univer What? Yeah, it's just the universe, but bigger. Oh, not a real thing. Oh my god. Contained by fandom. Why is fandom a thing on here? Fandom 2K4B, which can be also called Fandom, the Fandom Planet, or Fandom, formerly the Fandom Planet, Fandom, the Wiki Planet, or Wiki is an extremely enormous planet by created by True Ham and developed by many voluntary civilizations, or also known as fans, for fans. It's a civilization. Oh my god, I need a drink of water again. It's a civilization that any other civilization in the Black Ball wish they had. Although the other civilizations are comparatively so small that I can't even be able to see in a blank length. Because of, in this case, it would be so big that humans is the size of an alien versus that's how big it is. The fandom civilization is perfect, futuristic, and technology advanced civilization. It has over 400 wikis, 50 million articles. And all land mass in this civilization is secured by a thick layer of bedrock, in which people can even live and drive in. Although the civilization is not perfect either, as there are some people who don't really respect certain civilization. They're called spammers or vandals. However, they can put in a global global fandom jail. Those who are permanently will be departed into a void that returns to the planet when they were in. Now, I'm going to tell you that you're reading this very article in this very wiki. That means you're currently inside a building inside the city of this beautiful planet. Oh my god. What? I want to another wiki. Well, it's like an anti-vandalism wiki or something. Oh my god. Oh god, this site is nuts. I wonder if the wiki itself is on here. Okay, no it isn't. I'm honestly surprised. Oh god. Yeah, I think it's time to stop after like 5 more randoms. The infinite, also known as infinite or infinity, is the largest number and largest thing on space. Nothing is bigger than it, nothing will ever be bigger than it. And it's actually the biggest thing, for once. The Broverse, formerly Egoverse or Mini-Universe, contains multiple paraverses. Also, all need Tims who live here, and they are best bros. Yeah, I think I'm done for now. I think I'm done. Like, oh god. Oh, it's hurting my head trying to read through this. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna end it off now. Dear god. Oh my god.